Will Major League Baseball ever adopt a salary cap? The owners certainly seem intent on pursuing one in the next CBA discussions. If they do, a work stoppage will almost certainly be a certainty at that point. Now, Major League Baseball's Players Association has been adamant about resisting a MLB salary cap for the better part of decades now. This would be an unwinding of the business of baseball from what we've come to know and appreciate. Yes, are there ways to improve it? Absolutely. Is this the route that they ultimately will die on that hill for? We shall see. Hopefully, for our sake as baseball fans, we do not see this happen because this would likely mean we get a full year, if not more, without the entire sport of Major League Baseball. Other news from around Major League Baseball, MLB.TV is being shopped around to different streaming services and broadcasters alike in an effort to try to eliminate the blackout issue that's been harming fans for decades as well. This is some positive news for baseball fans after basically owners kind of lit a test balloon today out into the national media about the salary cap. And finally, we'll get into some trade talk. We'll talk a little bit about the state of baseball, which teams have really surprised us going into the year, which teams are we looking to kind of make some adjustments here in the very near future. Be sure to hit that subscribe and like the video, and let's get to it. And welcome into the MLB Hot Stove Daily here at the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us late on a Thursday evening. Every night during the week, we'll be going over all of Major League Baseball, all the ups and downs of the regular season, latest trade talks, signings, rumors, everything that you need to know about your favorite team. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe and join us every single weekday evening to discuss your favorite sport, Major League Baseball. Now, right off the hop anyway, I want to get into the test balloon that was floated by Major League Baseball's ownership there today. It's been no surprise that the salary cap has been a bone of contention in the national media for the better part of the last 3 or 4 months. I think the official, this is us testing the issue about a salary cap in the national media was floated out there today. Multiple media outlets out there picked it up and ran with it. And I think this is the first salvo from ownership to the Players Association through the media itself. I'm sure they've talked about it for decades at this point about a salary cap, about how they would love to have one, et cetera, et cetera. That's been a non-starter with the Players Association. And by the way, Players Association, one of the strongest in the business anyway, as they've been able to resist a salary cap as long as they have. Do I think it's an inevitability at some point here? I do, to a certain extent. I don't mind the current system, though, with the luxury tax thresholds, those kinds of things, collective bargaining, etc. I don't mind any of those things. You make it certainly exorbitant cost anyway to defer a team or to kind of compel teams to stay away from the upper limit there. If you really need to make it an absolutely egregious penalty, for every dollar you spend over the tax anyway, you spend $1,000 over it. If that has to be the tax threshold, so be it. But that would essentially function as a salary quote-unquote cap at that point. But I think Players Association would be much more inclined to do something like that than a straight up salary cap at say $275 million. Now, of course, Major League Baseball's owners are going to have to give to get in this situation. So what would be the benefit of them getting a salary cap? Well, of course, it limits the top-end salaries, kind of keeps some teams in the line here. For instance, the Dodgers wouldn't be able to have all this extraneous money. Now, the test balloon that was floated today said nothing about the deferrals, that deferrals would still stay in place, that a salary cap would likely be the one big change that Major League Baseball would be pushing for this offseason and would be willing to go to the negotiating table in order to get it done. If you're the Players Association, if you've never even been willing to discuss the idea of a salary cap, what exactly would bring you to the table to even mention the idea that you'd be willing to consider the idea of a salary cap? Of course, you'd have to figure out your international draft situation. You'd have to figure out the deferred money situation. You have to figure out teams that aren't actually spending up to the level of other teams as well. If there's going to be a salary cap, you can darn well expect there's going to be a salary floor as well. Revenue sharing is going to have to be addressed as well. Tanking teams, etc., would be addressed as well. But what are you willing to give up in order to get that salary cap if you're Major League Baseball's owners? Are you willing to give up all the progress and goodwill you've brought back to the fans after having multiple seasons derailed in the past due to labor disputes, COVID, among other issues? Baseball's going pretty well right now. Understandably, the regional sports model has really kind of deteriorated over the last 5-6 years or so. That model is being changed on the fly here. So 2027 is when the CBA does expire. Are you willing to give up all of that goodwill towards towards all the baseball fans everywhere, and just set it on fire and hope they come back in a year or more? Because I guarantee you, with that work stoppage that would be coming if there was a salary cap proposal by the owners and they were serious about it, I think that we will see a work stoppage, and I don't think Players Association would be willing to budge on it. I think they've already told their union members anyway to say, hey, start saving now. You're going to miss a year of work or more. I think they're kind of setting the groundwork right now, just as ownership is trying to play a little bit through the media right now, especially with the Dodgers and all their deferred money. You're going to have some public sentiment about how high the Dodgers have now gone as far as spending. Certainly, there are still some teams in that top stratosphere as well. Mets, Yankees, always at the top of the heap anyway as far as spending. The Phillies as well. But then you get to the other end of the spectrum. Teams like the Pirates, Marlins, A's, Rays, teams like that don't really sell a whole or don't really spend a whole lot in free agency. They need to pick up the pace here a little bit. And I think the Players Association, if they ever did come to the negotiating table, that'd be item number 1 on their to-do list. Welcome in, Rafe, Holly, we appreciate you guys joining us once again. You're finally able to watch one. Glad you're able to join us live, my friend. How about them Angels? Another series win. 4 in a row for Soriano as my ace. Soriano has looked pretty dang good so far. I thought he looked pretty decent in the times I've actually been able to watch him live. I'm excited to see where the Angels are going to go with him as a part of their future there. But the Angels have gotten off to a much better start than expected. I do think the Cinderella run will come to an end fairly quickly here. They don't have the talent to necessarily keep up this pace here. But off to a great start and good start to the season anyway for Ron Washington and company. Rafe adding a cap but leaving deferrals would literally destroy the game. Complete opposite of what is needed. I don't think a cap is what's needed, honestly. I do think the deferrals will need to be adjusted for. I think that will be addressed to a certain extent, maybe capping how much in deferrals you can have. Remember, in the NHL, for instance, you can only retain salaries on up to 3 contracts at any given time. Maybe they do something like that with deferrals or cap the total number of dollars that you can have deferred as well. Steven, welcome in. The only cap I would support is if they use the extra revenue to lower ticket prices, which they won't. True. Owners just want more money. Nobody is capping their revenue. Absolutely. What business owner out there is willing to decrease their profits in order to pay somebody else more money? Nobody in their right mind would agree to that kind of situation unless they absolutely had to get it done. And there's no reason here I get the reason for the owners trying to push for a salary cap, but there's no reason on the Players Association side for them to agree to the deal, unless it's just them missing a year's worth of paychecks. If that's the negotiating leverage that you're trying to utilize here, if you're Major League Baseball's owners, I just don't think that's going to work. I think the union is much stronger than it was. The last time we went through the CBA negotiations, and I'm curious to see their response to the test balloon that was floated by the owners today. All right, appreciate you guys joining us. Be sure to hit that thumbs up at the bottom of the corner if you wouldn't mind doing so. Got about 16 of you guys with us right now, so hit that heart in the chat as well. And let us know what you guys think about a work stoppage becoming a reality if the ownership, if MLB owners anyway, try to push for a salary cap. All right, item number 2 anyway, MLB.TV is the streaming service that allows you to basically buy all the games that are not in your own region anyway and be able to watch them for a certain fee. This year I believe it was 162 and change, whatever the case may be. But you don't get to watch your own local teams. That's the only downside, and there are blackouts as well. Major League Baseball has for years tried to tell fans, yes, we understand blackouts are a thing, we understand it's a problem, we'll work on it. Well, they've been quote unquote working on it for about 20 years now, if not more, and still have not really come up with any long term solution here. This is the first time we're actually seeing some actionable things that might address that. If they do offer MLB.TV to, say, YouTube or Amazon or something like that, so kind of like the Sunday Ticket package that the NFL does. If they do something like that, the talk in a couple of the articles that I read about MLB.TV being shopped is that blackouts would go away for those fans. It'd be the first step that Major League Baseball would be utilizing here to solve their blackout issue. Now, of course, that would have a lot to do with the regional sports network deals that they already have going up right now. They're going to have to figure out the language of all those things. It's not a certainty by any stretch of the imagination, but it could be the beginning here of better viewing of baseball for most baseball fans out there. I have the MLB.TV package. I do utilize that on a regular basis. When we do our live games here coming up here in the next few weeks, I'll be watching the game on one screen while talking about it here, of course, on YouTube or on our channel here, because obviously we can't share the video on our channel. We won't have the audio. We'll talk a little bit. We'll have some fun in our chats as well about what's going on around the game of baseball as well, not just what's happening in the game. If you guys want to check out some of our videos from the beginning of last year when we do that, or when we did that anyway, I would appreciate it if you guys are curious about how that format will work. All right, let's see here. You miss Evan Carter? I do too. I'm just hoping he continues to develop at the minor leagues. I'm not rushing him up to the big league level, but I'm done with the Leody Taveras experiment. Once Wyatt Langford is back, I'd be more than happy with Pilar in that center field spot until we get Evan Carter up to the big league level and just utilize Taveras as the fourth outfielder. The issues that he has with consistency have now bleeded over into his fielding and defense. And when his bat is as inconsistent as it is, they need more consistency there in Texas. Welcome in, Paranormal. Appreciate you joining us anyway. But let's go ahead and check in on baseball and just see what happened today. Weren't too many games anyway, but we'll start with the actual scoreboard anyway. Only 6 games. One is in the 11th. Phillies and Braves once again playing a tight ball game there. Phillies looking to come out on top here, keep the Braves to only 2 wins on the season. Angels were able to snap out of their little misstep that they had yesterday. As you mentioned there, Soriano improves to 2-1 on the year. 14 hits, 11 runs scored. Again, offense the issue for the Rays. But the Angels continue with their great start to the season here. White Sox again losers. Guardians bats finally wake up a little bit here. 6 runs on 10 hits. Twins lose a tight one. Royals take it 3-2 in a decently played game anyway. Couple of errors though on both sides. Brewers unfortunately lose on the road to the Colorado Rockies. Not exactly the way you want to continue there against Colorado. And then in extras, the Red Sox get back on the winning side of things, winning 4-3 at home over the Blue Jays. Overall, good day of baseball anyway. But for me, so many teams off today. We did our power rankings yesterday. We discussed how the Braves have fallen all the way down to the bottom 3 of the entire sport right now after being in our top 2 to begin the year. That's one of the fastest falls from grace I've ever done on any of my power rankings for any sport ever. But when you stack up the injuries in that rotation, Profar suspension, the inability to hit, the qualms that they have in their bullpen, the issues that they have as far as depth, and Acuna thought to be coming back at the end of the month, that ultimately was changed right before the start of the season when he'd be coming back late May, early June at the earliest. And the Braves are in a little bit of a free fall right now. They're going to have to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and just figure it out. Let's see here. Steven, no one complaining about Devers anymore. True. Devers has quieted the hounds, if you will. But Bregman certainly has played pretty well for them as well. In fact, let's go ahead and look at the box score there. Just want to see if they have his numbers there. He's up to 278 after really struggling to begin the year. 2 hits on the day. Bregman 1 for 4. He's still playing pretty well. But you look at where their numbers are now. Only 10 average points apart between Bregman and Devers. Devers was always an offense-first player. So Good on him for finally figuring things out, as we all thought he would. But I think him not playing the defensive side of things took some time for him to figure out and get into a groove offensively. I'm glad Carter is good, though. We have the curse of wrist and hand injuries. No kidding. He did leave a game the other day anyway due to a wrist injury. But he is fine. He is healthy for now. But I just want to see him healthy and continuing to try to learn and get better down there. I'm not putting any type of a time frame on it, but I think a few months is what we will likely see for Evan Carter down there, trying to get a little bit better at his craft. Rafe, how do you see our upcoming series versus the Mariners going? Pitching masterclass for both teams. Great question. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that series, the matchups that we will have. So tomorrow, I believe it's DeGrom for the Rangers. DeGrom goes for the goes for the Rangers anyway, and Miller goes for Seattle. I'd say the edge goes to Texas in that one. Obviously, Jacob DeGrom, etc. I think the Rangers will come out the victor there after their bats finally woke up a little bit there at the end of their series against Chicago. Saturday, I believe it's Kumar Rocker for the Rangers versus Wu for the Mariners. Rocker pitched very well in his second outing of the year. First one could not have gone much worse for the first couple innings. Settled down in inning number 3 to kind of get a positive taste in his mouth going into his next start, which he performed well. His career high in innings was 5 here. I do not think he'll be going very deep into this game. I think maybe 6 innings at the latest here. The Rangers bullpen has been pretty good. Wu is a very strong pitcher, though. So if I was to say one game for them to drop here, I'd say this would be the game that they drop there in Seattle. But Seattle is notoriously difficult for the Rangers to win there. Even when they're the better team on paper, better team via record, better lineup, better rotation, whatever the case may be, the Rangers just for whatever reason just haven't been able to pull out as many victories as they need to out of that team there in Seattle. But Mariners have struggled offensively, 5-8 to start the year. No Kirby as of yet, and rotation I think has pitched decently well, but they've gotten not enough hitting to be able to support this pitching staff by far. But I'd give the edge in this one to Seattle in Game 2. And then I believe Game 3 is Nathan Eovaldi, if I remember correctly. Yes, Nathan Eovaldi versus Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert is a beast on that mound. If they can score a couple of runs for him, I'd say Seattle wins. But every time he takes the mound, they just don't score for him. He's just snake bit that way. Eovaldi has his first rough-ish outing anyway against the Chicago Cubs. And some YouTubers anyway have figured out an issue with his approach to delivering the ball to home whenever there is a man on first base. I'm sure Eovaldi has seen those, and I'm sure he will be addressing that situation. Will it go immediately into effect in this game? We shall see. But Eovaldi, when there's not a runner on, is still very good. When there is a runner on, he uses the slide step. He pitches still very well. When he goes to the leg kick, it's an automatic stolen base, throws him off of his timing and rhythm, and gets him into some trouble there. So Eovaldi, a good veteran pitcher. I'm sure he's picked up on that already, better than I have, as a layman, if you will. But Logan Gilbert is just that guy anyway in Major League Baseball right now. He was my early season pick anyway. I believe I picked him to win the Cy Young on the American League side. I can't remember, but I think he was in that conversation for me, if not winning it. But that's your upcoming series there. That's going to be a great game on Sunday. So hopefully we all get to enjoy a great pitcher's duel on Sunday between the Rangers and Mariners. Looking at the standings anyway, like I said, not too many games anyway, but Yankees, Blue Jays on top in the AL East. No real movement there. No movement there in the Central anyway, as the Royals pick up a half a game on the Tigers. Rangers were idle today. Angels picked up a half a game on the Rangers after their dominating victory over the Rays. And then in the NL side of things, Phillies anyway, still playing right now against the Braves. We'll check out that one here in just a second. 8-3 right now for the Phillies. Braves just looking to get their third win of the season. Cubs anyway still have a great offense. They lead the NL Central. And in the NL West, it's basically a 3 to 4 team race depending on how the Diamondbacks get their pitching to go here in the next couple of weeks. But the Padres and Dodgers look like the class of this division. Giants look good so far, but I'm expecting them to drift back to the pack just a little bit. Let's check in on that extra inning game real quick. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Rojas there. We'll see if the Phillies can scratch across a run. Braves really need this victory, though. Let's see here. How do you see the upcoming series going? Pitching Masterclass? Yes, I know it's super early, but who do you expect our September call-ups to be? If Sebastian Walcott continues to perform at the level I'm expecting him to, he will be one. Justin Foscue, Jonathan Ornelas, Dustin Harris, players like that. As far as surprising guys, on the relief side of things, Robbie Alstrom could be a guy that they look to. Teodo could be another one that they look to. There's a couple of guys that could be September guys for the Rangers this year. Alrighty, I appreciate you guys joining us. Braves are down bad right now, good lord. Yeah, well, they do have the bases loaded anyway. Let me see if they got some runs. They just give up a run? No, it was just updating. Okay. Alright, appreciate you guys joining us. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We'll be back live with you guys again tomorrow night. Again, Major League Baseball owners today floated the test balloon about the idea of a salary cap in a continued barrage of salary cap discussions around Major League Baseball's offseason this year. And ultimately, I think the owners are very serious about it at this point, as I think the first real trial balloon was thrown out there today to at least get the ball rolling on those discussions. I do think we'll be headed for a work stoppage if that does happen. I think we'll likely miss a full season of Major League Baseball, and I think it'll ultimately be up to the owners if they decide to let this work stoppage to happen over the issue of the salary cap, because I don't think the Players Association will be budging on this issue. As far as MLB.TV, they might be solving some of the blackout concerns that you have if they do strike a deal with some of the streamers, broadcasters out there in order to get their game in front of the most eyeballs as they possibly can. Welcome in, Lucas. Appreciate you joining us once again. Let's see here. Let me update just to see. Phillies did scratch across a run on a bases-loaded walk. Yikes. Throw the ball over the plate. Give your defense a chance. Yikes. Hate to see that's a terrible way to lose a game if they end up losing it 2-1 there. Jeez, Lucas, you act like you live in a different country or something. He does, my friend. He does. All right. Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be live with you guys again tomorrow night around 11:30. So be sure to tune in. Hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Follow us on X at UpsideSN if you want to be notified when we do go live, or follow us on Facebook at Upside Sports Network. Appreciate y'all out there. Y'all have a great evening. We'll get into some trade talk tomorrow as far as Sandy Alcantara and some of the other surprising names that we're beginning to hear as far as being available at the upcoming MLB trade deadline. Appreciate y'all. Stay safe out there, everybody.